Everyone, I hope you all are doing great. I am Suhini Biswas, a third year law student, and currently I am doing an internship at the Lexicon company. Today I am here and I'll be discussing on the topic of representative suit under section A under Order 1 Rule 8 of CPC. So let us begin. Order 1 Rule 8 of the Civil Procedure 1908 deals with representative suit. A representative suit is a suit that is filed by one or more persons on behalf of themselves and others having same interest in the suit. The general rule is that all persons interested in a suit ought to be joined as parties to it. Rule 8 forms an exception to this rule. The rule enacted is for the convenience, based on reason and good policy, as it saves from the expense and trouble which would otherwise have to be incurred in such cases. What is the definition of a representative suit? A representative suit is a suit filed by one or against more persons on behalf of themselves and others having the same interest in the suit, for the purpose of determining whether the person who sue or are sued or defend have the same interest in one suit. It is not necessary to establish that such persons have the same cause of action as the person on whom behalf or for whose benefit they sue or are sued or defend the suit, as the case may be. What is the objective of a representative suit? The object of the rule is to afford convenience in suits where there is a community interested among a large number of people so that a few should be allowed to represent. In other words, the object for which this provision is made is really to facilitate the decision of question in which a large body of persons are interested without recourse to ordinary procedure. Otherwise, there will be inseparable practical difficulty in the institution of suits, where each individual has no maintained actions by a separate suit. This was decided in the case of Kodia Gounder versus Velandi Gounder in the case. What are the conditions for a representative suit? There are basically four essential conditions for a party to institute a representative suit, which can be derived from the provision of Rule 8. That is, first, the parties are numerous. Second, the same interest or community of interest is the same. Third, necessary permission of the court has to be obtained. Fourth and the least is notice to all the persons interested in the suit. Now let us discuss this one by one. Same interest. For the representative suit, it is essential that the parties have the same interest in the suit. The interest must be common to them all, or they must have a common grievance of which they seek the redress. Community of interest is sine qua non to maintain a representative suit. It is, for example, A sues 100 persons who have, in pursuance of conspiracy, trespassed on his land or have wrongfully confined him. A asks for declarative relief. The court should have the power to permit him to sue, say, 3 of the opponents as representatives of all the 100, provided there is a community of interest among them which can be said to exist where there is concerted action or a common object, though the cause of action against each trespasser is separate. The interests need to be proprietary, neither joint nor concurrent. The expression same interest, as was well explained by Lord Manhattan in Birdford, Duke vs. Ellis in 1901 as, given a common interest and common grievance, a representative suit was an order the plaintiff proposed to represent. The question of the same cause of action arises from the object and reasons of Rule 8. The amendment to the rule in 1976 has added an explanation to clarify that such persons need not have the same cause of action. Same interest, therefore, does not mean same cause of action under this rule. Permission of the court. Court must have granted permission or direction must have been given by the court. This is required in order to bind the persons other than those who are actually parties to it. If no permission is taken, the suit will not be a representative one. Permission under Order 1 Rule 8 CPC may be granted even after the institution of the suit and even at the appellate stage by allowing an amendment if such amendment does not materially change the nature of the suit. Notice. This is the last condition, that notice will have to be given to all the concerned parties. Where permission is granted to file a suit in representative capacity, then it is mandatory to give notice to the institution of a suit to all the persons interested. Notice may be given directly through the personal services or by advertisement as directed by the court. Court must see that if the direct that the notice should be by a public advertisement, it must disclose the nature of the suit as well as the relief claimed therein to order in order to enable the persons interested to get themselves impleaded as parties to the suit, either to support the case or defend against it. Further, the notice must mention the names of the persons who have been permitted to represent them, so that the persons interested may have an opportunity of knowing who have been selected to represent them. Now, what is the concluding remark? Rule 8 is mandatory and must be complied with. A suit filed without compiling conditions cannot be said to be a representative suit. In this also, parties on records may have been made liable to pay the cost. In exceptional cases, however, even the unrepresentative parties may be directed to pay the cost. It is also to be noted that a decree passed in a representative suit can be executed like any other decree passed in a regular suit. It can be executed against the person representing and who are parties or nominees, and can also act against the person represented through the parties on record. Thank you.